Where there's a will, there's a way. First, to me, conjured up an idea of this kind of slow but steady wins the race kind of will that we sometimes force ourselves to exert when we want to accomplish something. But then I thought about it and I thought, what really has been interesting to me is the few times in my life where will came to me not as a daily grind kind of will, but as an overwhelming explosion of something where I saw what I wanted to do and I just reached out and tried to do it, whether I could or not. And those tend to be the more interesting experiences for me, and this is one of them. The date of this was September 28th, 1973. I remember it. I was a freshman in college. I had carefully chosen this college I was attending. It's a small Catholic university in the Midwest. You may have heard of it. And I chose this college because it was the only one in the country where they gave you, as part of your tuition, a free ticket to every home Notre Dame football game. So I chose wisely with college, and I had just attended my first home football game. It was wonderful. I had never been to Notre Dame Stadium before that day. I went in, 60,000 people, the band, the gold helmets, the crazy fans. It was great. We tromped Northwestern 44-0, and we all walked out of there in this state of euphoria, like, this is great. We have to do this again. The problem was that the following Saturday, the game was not at home. The game was being played at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. And we didn't have tickets to that. So my friend Chris and I, who had enjoyed the experience as much as I had, we were sitting in the cafeteria on Friday night, September 28th, the Purdue game the next day, and lamenting the fact that we were not going to be able to be there in person. But Chris had a strong will, and I had a strong will, and we ended up combining them because Chris had something else I didn't have, and that was a map of Indiana. And he pulled that out, showed me that Purdue was only about 100 miles south of Notre Dame on a pretty straight shot on the Interstate 31. He said, we could hitchhike down there, get tickets, go to the game, and hitchhike back. I said, okay, how much money are we gonna need, and how much do we have? We pooled our resources on the table there. We had $40 between the two of us. Back then, $40 might be able to get you 2 tickets to the game. It wasn't gonna get you a hotel room, it wasn't gonna get you meals or anything like that. So we went to the sandwich bar there at the cafeteria and made ourselves each about 5 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We found a brown bag, grocery bag, put the sandwiches in the bag, took off walking over to Interstate 31. As we did that, the clouds were getting dark. We began to feel the first raindrops of the night. Not a good sign. Our brown paper bag had to be hidden under our coats to keep it dry. But we got to the road and we stuck out our thumbs, and the first vehicle that pulled over, and it took a while, but finally a vehicle pulled over, was a van. And miraculously, the van was being driven by Notre Dame cheerleaders. Mostly female, a couple guys, but we were invited to ride with them to Purdue, which is, of course, where they were headed also. So we got a straight ride to Purdue. They had living arrangements that we couldn't join with, but they dropped us off on campus there. We got on the Purdue campus, and there's a big crowd of people walking across the campus. And we went up to these guys who were about our age and said, you know, where's everybody going? They said, oh, there's a free concert at the basketball arena tonight. We said, can anybody go? Yeah, you guys can come with us. We'll show you how to get there. So we went with these guys. We went to this free concert. I don't remember who played, unfortunately, but it was a great time. We came out of there, and they said, where are you guys going to stay tonight? We said, we don't know yet. We don't have any room or anything. They said, you can sleep on the floor in our dorm room. We've got beer back in the dorm. We can sit around and drink some beers, and you guys can sleep on our floor. I said, great. So we went, we met these new friends, we had a great time. We ended up sleeping on their floor, and the next morning we got up. And because I only have 6 minutes, I can't tell you about how we got into the free alumni breakfast at the Purdue how we passed ourselves off as children of Purdue alumni and got a free breakfast. But then we headed over to the stadium, and we still needed tickets. We still had our $40, and we still had our bag of sandwiches. A friend of ours from our dorm saw us and said, Mike, Chris, what are you guys doing here? We said, came to see the game. He said, come with me. My dad's old Notre Dame roommate is having a tailgate, and he has extra tickets. So we went over to the tailgate. We got fed. We got given free tickets to the game. We went in. Notre Dame won. It wasn't a blowout, but we won. And after the game was over, we got out of there, and we were like, we have to hitchhike back. We can't possibly be as lucky as we were on the way. We got to Interstate 31 north, put our thumbs out. First car that pulled up was a Lincoln Town Car, beautiful Lincoln Town Car. The driver rolls down his window. It's Father Tom McNally, our rector from our dorm. And he says, what are you guys doing here? You're not supposed to hitchhike. We said, well, we need to ride back to Notre Dame. He's like, come on, get in the car. And he said, what's in the bag? We said, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. He said, throw those in the back. I'm going to take you guys to the best steak restaurant here in West Lafayette. We're going to have a steak dinner. Go home and tell your parents what a great guy I am. So we did that, got home, and that was the result of having a lot of goodwill. And all we ended up with to show for it was a soggy bag of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.